water is a key element to life on Earth. Our everyday lives depend on the availability and quality of water for potable or residential uses, but also for crop production, manufacturing and construction, and other industrial applications, as well as recreational uses. Even water is the most common substance found on the Earth, less than 1% is suitable and practically accessible for human use. Furthermore, this amount is unevenly distributed, and water resources in the world are under pressure due to rapid population growth, expansion of human activity, as well as the effects of global warming. As the universal solvent, water, more than any other liquid on the Earth, is naturally able to solubilize, at a certain degree, a large number of different chemicals. Thus, as it gets recycled over and over again from the Earth to the atmosphere and back along its natural cycle, water gets naturally enriched with several substances, which get dissolved or suspended as a result of water interaction with the atmosphere, as it flows over soils and rock surfaces, infiltrates into the ground and through the aquifer, or as it mixes with other waters. Climatic patterns, land morphology, soil types, and environmental conditions cause waters, depending on the area they flow from, to have various chemical signatures and different overall qualities. Natural water dissolved species include common constituents such as sodium, magnesium, calcium, chloride, bicarbonate, and sulfate, nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus, and other trace elements. Natural suspended solids typically include soil or sediment particles such as clay or silt, and organic residues, for instance vegetal debris and microorganisms such as protozoa, bacteria, and viruses. In general, except for few exceptions such as arsenic and fluoride, which may naturally be present at toxic concentration or pathogens, natural constituents are not considered harmful to human health, although can affect the taste, smell, or clarity of the water, requiring, especially for potable uses, some kind of treatment. Much more relevant and diversified is the impact on water quality of anthropogenic pollution, as most of the substances we use in everyday life and activities, whether not properly managed, can end up in water system, with water then acting as the main transport and transmission route. Water and land uses practice directly change the dynamics of the water cycle and water quality. Anthropic pollution may originate from specific point sources, such as sewage or industrial discharges, effluents from wastewater treatment facilities, contamination from leaking septic system, chemical or oil spills, and leachates from landfill or waste dumping sites. Other distributed sources or non-point sources, such as agricultural or stormwater runoff and atmospheric deposition, are responsible for diffuse pollution. Due to the combined actions of all these natural and anthropic factors, water often presents unnaturally high levels of nutrients and oxygen-consuming substances, pathogens, or toxic chemicals, which are responsible for relevant impacts to the aquatic ecosystems, such as eutrophication and oxygen depletion, or chemical accumulation and human health. According to a study recently published in The Lancet, water pollution caused 1.4 million deaths in 2019, and every year about 1 billion people sicken due to unsafe water. Microbiological pollution is the major cause of acute diseases such as cholera, giardia, typhoid, and Legionnaires' disease from unsafe water, even in wealthy nations, whereas chemical pollution is responsible for chronic effects. For point sources, many countries have prescribed specific treatments and established limits on what can be discharged into a water body. Thus, thanks to improved treatments of urban wastewater and industrial streams, the effects of point sources have decreased significantly over the past 30 years. Non-point sources, despite the relevant impacts, are more difficult to control and regulate, since there is no single identifiable culprit. However, there is no global governance system for water. Water is managed at a local level and often poorly managed. Technologies needed to help us use the water efficiently and equitably often are not implemented. The many different uses tend to be managed by various subsectors in a fragmented way, with varying degrees of attention to water quality. Our overall understanding of water pollution is limited in some areas, especially the urban environment. The types and sources of pollution are complex and their cumulative effects are not well understood. Our knowledge has gaps about how our activities affect water quality. Each catchment's varied landform and climate, overlaid by the mosaic of land uses within it, makes this information complex and difficult to obtain. Knowing exactly how well management methods work to reduce pollution at a particular place is an important gap to fill, especially if the methods and technologies are new. There are also numerous complex interactions and indirect effects, as for instance, deteriorated water quality reduced its availability, leading on one end to more intensive exploitation of limited resources, but on the other, also to water reuse. Water quality models are critically important tools for managing these factors. Quantitative models help local communities and environmental managers better understand how waters change in response to multiple pollution sources and how to protect them. Models are useful to water specialists in many ways: assessing water quality condition and cause of impairment, predicting how waters will respond to changes in their watershed and to the environment, developing environmental standards and forecasting quantitative benefits of new water protection policies. The improvement of understanding the extent and behavior of polluting chemicals on the surface and subsurface, as well as the combined impacts of different mixtures and of substances, remains an important problem for environmental researchers and decision makers. Nowadays, many countries define the standards and water management strategies to protect their water resources, especially drinking water, but any action on compound control, mitigation or water system rehabilitation to effectively protect or enhance water quality should be based on the knowledge of the specific water system, regardless of its complexity, and updated anytime new information gets available.